Welcome back to another Lessons Learned video. Today we're going to be going over SAT practice test number 3, the math note calculator section. So let's begin. For question 1, a painter will paint n walls with the same size and shape with specific brand of paint. The painter's fee can be calculated by the expression NKLH, where n is the number of walls, k is constant with units of dollar per square foot, L is the length of each wall in feet, and h is the height. If the customer asks the painter to use a more expensive brand of paint, which are the factors in the expression would change? So the customer wants to ask for a more expensive brand of paint, so the variables that does not matter is n, because that's the number of walls, that doesn't change. The length doesn't change, and the height doesn't change. So that means the answer is K. Number 2, if 3r equals 18, what is the value of 6r plus 3? Now, I'm just going to multiply each side of this equation by 2. So 6r is equal to 36. Then 36 plus 3, to get that 6r plus 3 is 39. So the answer is D. Question 3, which of the following is equal to a to the power of 2 over 3 for all values of a? Now, a quick reminder is that a numerator always goes inside the bracket or inside the root. And the denominator goes on the outside, so the answer is D. 4. The number of states that joined the United States between these 2 years is twice the number of states that joined between 1850 to 1900. If 30 states joined the United States between 1776 and X states joined between 1885, which of the following equations is true? Okay, so that means the years between 1776 and 1849 is twice the number of 1850. So that means 2x equals 30. So the answer is B. 5. If 5 over x equals 15 over x plus 20, what is the value of x over 5? Now we can cross multiply and get 15x equals 5x plus 100. Subtracting 5x by each side, we get 10x is equal to 100 here. That means x is equal to 10, and then subbing that back into x over 5, we get 10 over 5. So the answer is C, number 2. All right, question 6. If xy is a solution to the system of equations above, what is the value of x minus y? Now, I'm just going to add these together and write this right here. So 2x plus 3x, that's 5x. Negative 3y plus negative 2y, that's minus 5y. And negative 14 plus negative 6 is negative 20. Now I'm going to divide all the terms by 5 to get x minus y equals negative 4. And that's how you get this expression right here. So the answer is C. All right, for question 7. The function f is defined by a polynomial. Some values of x and f of x are shown in the table above. Which of the following must be a factor of f of x? All right, so we'll use this one right here. So when f of 4 is equal to 0, right, that means some number of x minus 4 is equal to 0, and there we go. That's a factor of the table or the polynomial. Moving on to question 8. The line kx plus 4, where k is a constant, is graphed on the xy plane. If the line contains the points C and D, where both are non-zero values, what is the slope in terms of C and D? All right, so subbing in C and D in this equation right here, we get D equals k multiplied by C plus 4. And then solving in terms of k, we get D minus 4 over C equals k, and that is A. So the answer for 8 is A. Question 9. In the system of equations above, k is a constant and x and y are variables. For what value of k will the system of equations have no solutions? All right, so if there are no solutions, that means that the slope is parallel. So rewriting each equation into y equals mx plus b, or slope form, we'll get y equals k over 3x minus 4 over 3. And that's for the first one. And then for the second one, we get y equals 4 over 5x minus 7 over 5, right? And again, if there's no solutions, that means the slopes are equal. So kx over 3 has to equal 4x over 5, right? And then if we cross multiply, we get 12. Oh, sorry, we can forget the x right here. So k over 3 equals 4 over 5. Cross multiplying, we get 5k equals 12. And then let me bring this over here. That means k is equal to 12 over 5. The answer is A. All right, question 10. In the xy plane, the parabola with the equation y equals x minus 11 squared intersects the line with the equation y equals 25 at 2 points. What is the length of A and B? All right, so we're going to set these two equations equal to each other. So that means 25 is equal to x minus 11 squared. Now to get rid of the squared, we're going to square root each side. So that means plus or minus 5 equals x minus 11. And that's something many people will forget. They'll forget that the square root of 25 could be negative 5 as well, because negative 5 multiplied by negative 5 is the same as 5 multiplied by 5. Right now we have two situations. We have point A and then point B. So point A we'll do just positive 5 equals x minus 11. That means x equals 16. And for point B, we have negative 5 equals x minus 11. Right, that means 6 equals x. And we need to find the length of AB, so that's the difference between the 2 points. So that means 16 minus 6, and that is equal to 10. So the answer for 10 is A. Okay, moving on to question 11. In the figure above, lines K, L, and M intersect at a point. If x plus y equals u plus w, which of the following must be true? All right, so we know that the angles y and u should be equal because they are vertical angles. So if angles are opposite like this and they're vertical, they should be equal. So I'll just write this here, y equals u, right? And if we substitute y and u into this equation, we basically get x is equal to w, because if x plus u equals y plus w, that means x and w have to be equal, right? So we have that right here. And then since w and z are opposite angles, that means they have to be equal. And since x is equal to w, which is equal to z, that means number 1 is correct. So that means we can get rid of option C. All right, now moving on to part 2, y equals w. Now, does it have to be the case? We'll see. So since we have x equals w and z, right, which is also going to be equal to t, because x and t are opposite angles, right? If that all equaled, let's say, I don't know, 70, right? And we have y equals u, and that could equal 40, right? When you do the substitution, right, that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. So what I'm saying is, since all three pairs of vertical angles are equal, it's not true that y has to equal to w, right? So that means that 2 is not correct. So that means, well, A is cancelled and D is cancelled, remaining B is the correct answer. And again, process of elimination is a very important and smart way to eliminate answers and find the correct answer. Now, for question 12, in the quadratic equation above, A is a non-zero constant. The graph of the equation in the xy plane is a parabola with the vertex CD. Which of the following is equal to D? All right, so if we were to write this out for question 12, our first way is to use the symmetry points to find the x value of the vertex. And to do that, we need to find the zeros, which is x is equal to 2 and x is equal to negative 4. And the line of symmetry formula would be adding the two zeros together, dividing by 2. So we get negative 4 plus 2 over 2. So then that equals negative 1. So that means C is equal to negative 1. And C is, for x, D is for y. So rewriting this equation and subbing in x as negative 1, we get D equals A negative 3, 3. That means D is equal to negative 9A. That means the answer is A. Moving on to question 13. The equation, this equation is true for all values of x where it does not equal 2 over A. Where A is a constant, what is the value of A? Okay, so if we multiply each side by ax minus 2, we will get 24x squared plus 25x minus 47 equals, right here, negative 8x minus 3 ax minus 2 minus 53. Right, and if we were to expand this part right here, we will get negative 8ax squared plus 16x minus 3ax plus 6 minus 53. And again, that equals 24x squared plus 25x minus 47. And we need to know what a is equal to. So basically, 24x squared should be equal to negative 8ax squared, right? And this is because these two values have to be equal to each other, as said in the first part of the question. So that means 24 equals negative 8a. And that means a is equal to negative 3. So the answer for question 13 is B. All right, 14. What are the solutions to 3x squared plus 2x plus 12x plus 6? All right, we need to use the quadratic equation, which is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And to simplify this equation right here, we'll divide each thing by 3, each term by 3, and we will end up getting, let me rewrite this down here, x squared plus 4x plus 2 equals 0. Now subbing in all the values, so we'll get negative 4 plus or minus square root of 4 squared minus 4 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 2 all over 2a, which is just 2. All right, then we can simplify this and we'll get negative 2 plus or minus this right here. So, but we can look back in the options and get rid of C and D because obviously we got negative 2. And right here it's 16 minus 8. And that, well, I mean, we already know that there's no fraction there and it's root 8. So that means the answer is A. Again, process of elimination sometimes can, lower the amount of steps, or you don't need to fully solve for something. Again, because process of elimination a lot of the time works. Okay, so I'm just going to erase this so it doesn't cross over. All right, question 15. The equation above shows how temperature F measured in degrees Fahrenheit relates to Celsius. Based on the equation, which of the following must be true? All right, so we'll go through each one by one. Now for 1, a temperature increase of 1 degree Fahrenheit is equivalent to a temperature increase of 5/9 degrees Celsius. All right, so if F is equal to 32, that means C is equal to 0, right? And if we increase, so let me just write this. So when F is equal to 32, C is equal to 0. Now if we increase that, so F is equal to 33, right? So in the equation, 33 minus 32 is just 1. And then 1 multiplied by 5/9 is 5/9. That means C is 5/9. So with that 1 Fahrenheit increase, we increase by 5/9 degrees Celsius. So looking at the options, we can already eliminate B and C. So now we need to check number 2, because we already know that 3 is incorrect. Looking at number 2, a temperature increase of 1 degree Celsius is equivalent to a temperature increase of 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so if I'll bring this equation right here and substitute C for 1. So if C is 1, that means 5/9 F minus 32, right? So that basically means that F minus 32 has to equal 9/5, right? Which is 1.8. That means it needs to increase. F needs to increase by 1.8 every time to equate to an increase of 1 degree Celsius. So yeah, again, 9/5 is equal to 1.8, which means this is true. So that means A is incorrect because both options 1 and 2 are correct. That means the answer is D. Now moving on to question 16. These are now the free response questions. If x is greater than 0, what is one possible solution to the equation above? All right, so what we can do is we can factor or expand this. We get x to the power of 5 minus 5 to the power of 3 plus 4x equals 0. I just brought this 4x over. And then factoring out an x, we get x to the power 4 minus 5x squared plus 4 equals 0. Now, this can be further simplified into x multiplied by x squared minus 1 and x squared minus 4, right? And that is equal to 0. And again, it could be further simplified to x multiplied by x minus 1 multiplied by x plus 1 multiplied by x minus 2 multiplied by x plus 2, and that all equals 0. Now to, again, find all the x's, we have x equals negative 1, 1, 2, and negative 2. Now, what is one possible solution? If x is greater than 0, that means the solutions are 1 and 2. So both answers work. Now, you either put 1 or 2 because it asks for just 1. Moving on to 17. If this equation is true, what is the value of x? So again, this is very easy. We just subtract these. So that's 3 over 9. Write this neither. 3 over 9x equals, and we'll add these. So that's 8 over 12, right? And then simplifying that, that's 1 over 3x equals 2 over 3. Then you can cross multiply, so 6 equals 3x. That means x is equal to 2, and that is the answer. Okay, question 18. When two isosceles triangles are shown, if 180 minus z equals 2y and y equals 75, what is the value of x? Okay, so we have 75, and then 180 minus z equals 75 multiplied 2 is 150. That means z is equal to 30 right here. And since this is isosceles triangle, these two angles are going to be equal. And then 180 minus 150 is 180 minus 30 is 75. Sorry, here. I'm getting confused with all these. All right, 180 minus 30 is equal to 150. And then 150 divided by 2, because two angles are equal, we get 75. That means each of these angles are 75 degrees. And then just to rewrite this part right here, right, we have this. This is 75 degrees. And that means to find x right here, the outside is 180 minus 75, and that is 105. That means x is equal to 105 degrees. Moving on to question 19. At a lunch stand, each hamburger has 50 more calories than each order of fries. If 2 hamburgers and 3 orders of fries have a total of 1,700 calories, how many calories does a hamburger have? All right. So if each hamburger has 50 more calories than each order of fries, so that means h equals 50 plus f. And if 2 hamburgers and 3 orders of fries have a total of 700, how many calories does each hamburger have? So we get 2h plus 3f equals 1,700. Now substituting this for h, we get 100 plus 2f plus 3f equals 1,700. That means 5f is equal to 1,600, and that means f is equal to 320. Now subbing that back into here, 320 plus 50 equals ah, and that means h equals 370 calories. Right, moving on to the last question. In triangle ABC, the measure of B is 90 degrees, BC equals 16, AC equals 20, triangle DEF is similar, and it's 1 over a third. D is 1/3 the length of the corresponding side of ABC. What is the value of sine of F? All right, so I'll draw right here. This is A, B, C, and right here is D, E, F. So this was 16, this was 20. If we divide each by 4, that means this is 4, this is 5. That means this is a 3, 4, 5. So then 3 multiplied by 4 back to get 12, right? C is equal to F. right? And sine, we want the sine. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So of this degree, it's opposite over hypotenuse. That's 12 over 20. And that will, simplifying that, divide each side by 4, and you get 3 over 5. And that is the answer.